Half my life ago I graduated from high school, which feels crazy to say out loud. So it's been 15 years, and I thought it'd be nice to do a little recap. Lived across 3 continents, 6 countries, and took 7 years total for my bachelor's degree. I had to quit and restart 4 times. Also got to attend my dream university for a master's, worked a bunch of random jobs, did surfing, lots of snowboarding, I boxed and coached, and now I do climbing, living together in Vancouver with my partner Prapti, and working in research at UBC. Life's given me a lot, and I think 3 things have stood out most. The first is that meaning seems to come less from intensity than I used to think. When I was younger, I thought it would come from big experiences, things like travel, adrenaline, beautiful scenery, and big stories. I once genuinely even thought that I wanted to box professionally for a career, because it just seemed like the most exciting career I could think of. But on their own, I rarely found these experiences meant as much as I expected. What did make them meaningful was sharing them with people I loved, or having them become part of a lifestyle. With beautiful scenery too, and Vancouver is absurdly beautiful by the way. The forest, the ocean, the mountains, all of it. There's something really nice about beauty becoming part of your everyday life. But even beauty becomes normal and you get used to it. And what makes it feel alive again, at least for me, is sharing it with Prapti or with friends and family when they visit. What I've come to think matters more is just continuity. Things like repeated walks, shared meals, a good gym routine with your buddies, a neighborhood that you slowly get to know, friends who actually know your history. Honestly, the most meaningful moments I've had in my 11 years in Canada were simply visits from family and old friends. The second is that freedom has a larger cost than I expected. When I started traveling, it felt exciting, new countries, cities, friendships, so many people, and basically just new versions of yourself all the time. The West Coast in particular has a special kind of freedom of just getting in your car, driving for hours into the mountains, going hiking and climbing, and just feeling free. And road trips here are truly the best. But the other side of freedom is rootlessness. At some point, moving stops being fun and starts feeling disruptive. Rebuilding your life again and again gets really tiring, and when you know a place is temporary, it changes how you live in it and how you relate to people around you. After enough goodbyes, especially in transient places like Kelowna, where I did my undergrad, you start to feel like nobody really stays. And obviously, when nobody stays, part of you stops investing in the same way. The West Coast intensifies that because distances are so ridiculously massive here. After graduation, my entire cohort scattered both internationally, but even for those who stayed in Canada, everyone suddenly lived at least a 5-hour drive away. In Europe, all of this is far more manageable, and Europe does city life way better. The cities feel denser, more walkable, more social, and just more alive. Here, cities are more car-based. There's less history in the streets, which you can actually feel. And as an immigrant, all these things become more noticeable. Most of your friends end up being other immigrants, because locals already have their circles, and you mainly build friendships through repeat activities like sport or volunteering or just your job. And they can absolutely work, but it does feel more effortful. In Europe, social life just felt a lot easier. The third thing is that when things feel unstable, an external goal to dedicate yourself to is really nice. At several points, life just went somewhere that I'd not planned for at all, but I think that kind of instability forced me to look inward a lot more than I otherwise would have. More than anything, I think what stabilized things for me was finding my values. I read a lot of ethics and philosophy. Restarting life so many times kind of forced me to ask what I actually wanted to orient my life around, and I think in the end it gave me a clearer sense of direction. That's often made pursuing a career feel harder, definitely not easier, but it's made life feel way more coherent. And maybe the best thing the last 15 years gave me was not just stories or adventure, but just a wider life. More people and places and perspectives than I could have ever imagined, and more appreciation for culture and family and home. My appreciation for the Netherlands now is much deeper than it ever was when I still lived there, and more broadly, my gratitude for what I've been given, both by my parents and generally in life, runs much deeper too.